You're watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to another episode of Anime Encyclopedia. Doing more of this already. Figured I'd try to be a little bit more consistent with it. Gonna finish off my top 10 anime list with this episode, and then move on to the suggestions, because there have been a ton of suggestions in the comments. So, as you can see, today we're ending off the list with DevilMan. Now keep in mind, this is obviously before Crybaby, so it's actual DevilMan. I kid. Crybaby's alright. Just alright. Alright, I also looked up what a lot of these abbreviations mean, because there's actually a glossary of them at the front of the book, so I don't know why the fuck I didn't look at that sooner. Alright, DevilMan, 1972, TV series, video, movie, so that'd be the 1970s series, the OVAs, and then the movie. Director, Tomoharu Kasumata, Nobutaka Nishizawa. Screenplay by Masaki Tsuji, Tadaki Yamazaki, Susumu Takahisa, designed by Go Nagai, animated by Kazuo Kametsubara, Takeshi Shirato, Kazuo Mori, Shingo Araki, Makoto Kunihara, Masamune Ochiai. Music by Go Misawa, produced by Dynamic Planning, O Productions, and Net. 25 minutes times 38 episodes. No! Wrong! 39 episodes! Ha! Anyway, I own the full series and I've seen it, so obviously I know that that's incorrect. 43 minutes and 50 minutes times 2 episodes, and 25 minutes times 26 episodes for Devil Lady, so there was the OVA and then Devil Lady. And then 15 minutes for Ammon, so, alright, the rest is correct. But still, they were wrong about the 70s series. DevilMan and 2 other demons are sent to Earth to possess humans and cause chaos, finding 2 Japanese families nearby when they awake from their long slumber in the Himalayas. DevilMan chooses to possess Akira Fudo, his first choice, Akira's father, having died from fright, and the bedeviled boy, is adopted by the kindly Makimura family, falling in love with his stepsister Miki. What are you doing, stepbrother? Akira forgets his original mission. His former demon overlord, Xenon, sends a succession of creatures to kill him, and Akira must call on his ill-gotten powers. When a Japanese TV network wanted to adapt Go Nagai's Demon Lord Dante for TV in 1972, the artist instead offered them his new DevilMan project, already running in Shonen Magazine. An uneasy combination of superhero serial and macabre horror, it featured a schoolboy forced to become an agent of good by using the powers of evil. Following his TV series, DevilMan would appear in Tomoharu Katsumata's theatrical short, Mazinger Z vs. Devilman. Now, couple of small things here. I'm pretty sure he specifically made DevilMan in order to make a more adaptable version of Demon Lord Dante. Demon Lord Dante was very much the prototype. I don't think DevilMan was already being written before they approached him. I could be wrong on that. I'm basing this off Wikipedia, mind you, and that is not a good source. So this might be more accurate. I have no idea. Because you know how I feel about the wikis when it comes to DevilMan. A lot of people like to nitpick specific quotes that Go Nagai supposedly said, and the only source is the DevilMan wiki. And so, I don't like to use Wikipedia, so here's a source saying that he instead offered up DevilMan after he had already started making it. Maybe that's true. I don't know. But back to the thing about Mazinger Z vs. Devilman, in which Dr. Hell tries to recruit him to defeat the robot warrior of the title. In 1987, DevilMan was revived for a 2-part video adventure directed by Tsutomu Ida, which altered much of the designs and origins while keeping a retro 1970s look. In the video, Akira is a shy boy who lives with his simpering childhood friend, Miki. They've made a typo. They said Maki, but it's still Miki in the OVAs. So what the fuck? While his parents are away on a business trip, his tough friend Rio, the hermaphroditic son of Satan... He's not the son of Satan, he is Satan. What the hell? Yeah, he's a hermaphrodite, but he's not the son of Satan. He literally is Satan. Okay, you know what? I'm thinking that Wikipedia was more right than this in some ways. Although this is a source I think they probably use, because Wikipedia tends to use this book a lot as a source. Oh, also, from me watching the 70s series, I'm pretty sure Akira was dead when DevilMan took over his corpse. Like, I don't think he took over Akira, like, while he was still alive. If he was alive, he was only alive enough for DevilMan to take over, because Akira does not exist as a character in the 70s series after Episode 1. It's all DevilMan. They refer to him as Akira, and he has Akira's memories, but he's still a demon. And he's not named Ammon in the 70s series, he's named DevilMan. But I digress, back to the stuff about the OVAs. Rio tells him of the existence of demons, and that Earth was once occupied by this evil race. The only way to defeat a demon is to fuse with one, and Rio convinces Akira to allow this to happen. Rio slaughters human beings at a nightclub to summon a demon. It's not really a nightclub. I mean, it kind of has the aesthetic of one, but it's like this underground bunker in this mansion that Rio specifically sets up. But it's kind of like a nightclub, so maybe I'm splitting hairs. Summon a demon lucking into Ammon. Oh, okay. Rio slaughters human beings at a nightclub to summon a demon lucking into Ammon, the Lord of Darkness. Because Akira is pure of heart, he is able to control the demon within him, turning his evil powers for good use. The second episode, as in the original TV series, features a battle with Ammon's former lover, Siren. Okay, Siren was not shown to be Ammon's former lover in the OVAs or the original manga. That was an addition in Devilman Lady and Demon Knight. It was not in the original series, nor do I recall it being in the OVA. They just kind of fight. They did use it later in Crybaby, and in subsequent adaptations that is correct, that they are former lovers. However, at the time when the OVA was made, I don't know that that was necessarily confirmed yet. But it is true, though no further episodes were made. Devilman's best moments are in the flashback scenes of prehistoric... No. The flashback scenes are not that great. I mean, they're okay. They're not the best scenes. Of prehistoric demon-infested dream time that owed nothing to East or West. But it was the messy confluence of Japanese and European mythology that brought Devilman down. Fuck you. Fuck you, book. You're a piece of shit.
Fuck you!
Not helped by the UK dubbers Manga Entertainment's inability to get some of the classical references right, though they did find the time to write new lines like, "I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your neck." It's a Duke Nukem line. Do you think that's why Duke Nukem says that? I never thought of that before, but that definitely could, because Duke Nukem takes a lot of his lines from other things. I never even thought of that connection. Like, I remember that line in the OVA, and I'm like, haha, that's like Duke Nukem. But that totally could be. That could be why Duke Nukem has that line. Also, another tangent, but you can't shit on the Manga Entertainment dub. Like, it's bad, but in all the right ways. I absolutely love the Manga Entertainment dub. Like, I think that people should start with the sub and watch the original Japanese, because it takes away a lot of the atmosphere, but the dub makes it so much fun when you're watching it again. But let's press on, yeah? The same director would make the 3-part Chibichara Go Nagai World, 1990, featuring squashed-down versions of several Nagai characters, fighting at Armageddon. Akira Fudo also put in a cameo appearance in Go Nagai's later Cutie Honey, well, specifically New Cutie Honey. He might have been in the background of the original anime, too. I know Tare and Mio have been in the background of that series. But he was in New Cutie Honey and Re-Cutie Honey, though, so there you go. Nagai returned to the franchise in the 1997 Devilman Lady, retelling the story for the more adult comic morning magazine by altering the sex of his protagonist and introducing evolutionary angles. Vampire Princess Miyu director Toshihiro Harano and Armitage 3 writer Chiaki Konaka adapted it into a 26-episode TV series in 1998, though the characters from earlier versions make cameo appearances. That's true. And Devilman Lady, the manga, later becomes a sequel to Devilman, and it's the canon sequel to Devilman, but it doesn't become a sequel till halfway through. The remake centers on Jun Fudo, a shy fashion model, a school teacher in the manga, who begins to develop mystic powers. As part of Mother Nature's answer to overpopulation, a demon beast syndrome is afflicting the world's poor, transforming them into rapacious, cannibal demons. June, however, has been genetically engineered by her scientist father to retain her former memories after infection and uses her powers to fight off further incursions. The series was released in America under the less confusing title Devil Lady, although the most recent Blu-ray release by Discotek does actually have the original title DevilMan Lady. DevilMan was revived again with Ammon the Apocalypse of DevilMan, a 50-minute video released to cash in on the Millennium. Supervised by Fist of the North Star's Toyu Ashida and directed by Kenichi Takashita, featuring creatures designed by Yasushi Nirasawa, this chapter tied up many loose ends from earlier versions. I don't know if it really ties up any loose ends. It adapts the first chapter of Ammon the Dark Side of Devilman and then sort of puts in some of the stuff from the original manga that wasn't in the first two OVAs, so if that's what you mean by tying up loose ends, I guess. Spooling forward in the original story to the final Armageddon. Akira now leads the demon-hunting Devilman army, while a traumatized Miki wanders through Tokyo in the grip of apocalyptic violence and rapine. They have a lot of fancy words that have to do with rape. Rapine, rapacious. Interesting. Exploiting Akira's somewhat schizophrenic position as a force of good possessed by the ultimate evil, Ammon is a vicious, sadistic anime in the spirit of Urotsukidoji. I don't think it compares. Urotsukidoji is so much more sadistic. And even features a one-on-one fight between Devilman and Satan. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It starts with them leading up to a fight, and then Devilman just kind of looks at him and goes, eh, and walks away. That's literally how it ends. The epilogue to all the Devilman stories was written in 1973, only a year after the original manga. Okay, here we go. This is where it's going to get... there's going to be fans that think that they know what they're talking about that are going to contradict this. This is going to make the assertion that this is definitive, which it's not. But I'm going to say that in advance. You know where I'm going with this if you've been watching me for a while. The epilogue to all the Devilman stories was written in 1973, only a year after the original manga. In Nagai's Violence Jack, which begins with a remorseful Satan's decision to remake the world, to reincarnate as a cripple, and to create the Slum King to punish himself. Though this relationship is not apparent in the 1986 anime version, in 2000, an issue of the Demon Lord Dante manga that inspired Devilman was released as a manga video. Okay, so, that's it. That's the end. So yeah, they don't really get into Violence Jack that much. It is a sequel to Devilman, so that is correct. It's not the sequel to Devilman. However, I think at one point it was intended to be. So I still think this is kind of correct. Like, that's me theorizing, because Go Nagai has claimed that that's not the case. Supposedly, according to the Devilman wiki, for an interview that they didn't cite, so I can't prove that that interview ever even happened, where he supposedly said that neither of the series are canon to each other, which is blatantly false. If he actually said that, because Devilman is canon to Violence Jack, regardless if Violence Jack is considered canon to the current Devilman timeline. I've read through Violence Jack, I did a review of it a while ago, and it is a sequel to Devilman. It is not the canon sequel to Devilman currently. It is an alternate continuation, and it didn't become one until the last couple chapters. But again, none of the Devilman sequels started out as sequels immediately, they later became sequels. So, Violence Jack, I think, is just more of that. So, with that said, the book, I don't like some of the tone here where they were being a little bit shitting on it. They got a lot of things right. They got a few things here and there wrong. But anyway, again, my theory is that Violence Jack started as the sequel to Devilman, or not started, but became it, right? Then Go Nagai's like, I want to do an actual sequel. I don't think that was his original intention either. I think Devilman Lady was originally intended to be a remake. And then as it went on and he introduced Akira and Hell and actually started to, put the two series together, I think that's when he's like, this is now the sequel. Violence Jack isn't canon anymore. I think that's kind of what happened. That said, that's all my theory. I can't prove what Go Nagai's original intentions were. I've heard some people say that Violence Jack only became a Devilman sequel due to Go Nagai not being happy about the success of Mazinger Z instead of Devilman. I can't find any proof of that either. From what I've read online, Go Nagai is much more fond of Devilman, and he was a little bit upset that Mazinger Z overtook it, simply because he kind of did Mazinger Z just to blow off steam in between writing stuff. But I don't agree that he would necessarily be upset about that. I mean, again, I'm not Go Nagai. I can't get inside the guy's head. So maybe he did. But yeah, I've already talked about Violence Jack and the fact that it is indeed a sequel. Although it's not the sequel, it is a sequel to DevilMan. And I've had that argument many times before. This had a decent amount of information. Again, this was before Crybaby, and before Cyborg 009 versus Devilman, and before a few other things here and there. I think that it's nice that they mentioned pretty much everything that was out at the time. Didn't mention all the mangas, but again, it's the anime encyclopedia, not the manga encyclopedia. So the fact that they mentioned as much as they did is pretty impressive. Got a few tidbits here and there wrong, like the episode number is 39, not 38. But other than that, that's all I really have to say today. I hope you've enjoyed this anime encyclopedia. Toodles.
What a grand adventure this has been. God bless us, everyone.